Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. I'll admit it's one of the most unique films I have ever seen. The way it mixes genres sci-fi, action, comedy, and drama is just incredible. What are your first impressions?
Well, for me, it's definitely a lot to take in. I was a bit overwhelmed at first because there's so much happening at all at once. But I think that's part of its charm. The multiverse concept was fascinating, though at times it felt chaotic.
I agree, it's chaotic, but I think that reflects the film's central theme. Life itself can be messy, unpredictable, and overwhelming. Yet through all chaos, it tells a deeply emotional story about family, identity, and the search for meaning.
Yes, and the characters are so well written. Michelle Yeoh's performance as Evelyn is phenomenal. She transitions so seamlessly between all these different versions of herself. You can feel her pain, confusion, and growth throughout the film.
I totally agree. And the supporting cast was just as strong. Ki Hui Kwan, as Waymond, brought so much heart to the movie. His philosophy of kindness being form of strength really stuck with me. It was such a refreshing take in action-packed film.
True, and Stephanie Hsu as Joy was incredible as well. Her portrayal of nihilism through the character of Jobu Tupaki was haunting yet relatable. The film explores big ideas like existentialism and the fear of insignificance, but it balanced that with humor and warmth.
The humor is something I really appreciated. There were moments that made me laugh out loud, even during some of the more intense scenes. The creative choices, like the hot dog fingers universe, were absurd, but still added depth to the story.
Yeah, it's amazing how the film didn't lose its emotional core despite all the weirdness. The dynamic between Evelyn and her daughter was the heart of the story for me. It's a reminder of how important it is to connect with the loved ones, even if life feels like it's pulling you in a million directions.
Exactly. The film also critiques how we often obsess over what could have been instead of appreciating what we have. Evelyn's journey shows us that no matter how many possibilities exist, the present moment is what truly matters.
From a technical perspective, the movie is a masterpiece. The editing was so seamless, especially during the multiverse transitions, and the visuals just stunning. Considering the relatively modest budget, it's impressive how much they accomplished.
I just want to point out the fight scene. It deserves a special mention too. They were so creative and entertaining, especially those unconventional weapons. The choreography kept me glued to the screen.
It's definitely a bold and ambitious film. Not everything's worked perfectly for me. I think the pacing was a bit uneven in parts, but overall, it's a movie that leaves you thinking, feeling, and appreciating the complexities of life.
Agreed. If I had to rate it, I'd give it a solid 9 of 10. It's a film that takes risks and rewards the audience with a truly unforgettable experience.
For me, I'd give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's so creative and heartfelt that the flaws don't really matter in the grand scheme.
For me, it's a 9.5 out of 10. Few films manage to balance humor, action, and deep philosophical questions so well. This one does, and it's a movie I remember for a long time.
So, our average is about a 9. That wraps up our review of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.